Now, what is this interest rate swap? Interest rate swap, as I have mentioned, that it is a swapping of interest. Mind it, it is a swapping of interest, not the principal. Because in currency swap, it involves both swapping of interest and principal. But in interest swap, it involves only the swapping of interest. That is most important one. That is the most important point in interest rate swap. The next point is that the principal amount is the notional amount. Basically, it is notional. Why it is notional? Because it is not exchanged. And the important point to be noted is that principal amount for both the party will remain same. Principal amount for both the parties, say Rajesh and Nisha. You have entered into a swap agreement. So in that case, say the loan amount, say rupees 1 lakh and 1 lakh would remain same. It won't vary. Say it is not like that Rajesh will borrow 1 lakh and Nisha has a borrowing limit of say 1 lakh 50,000. And it is not like that Rajesh is borrowing in say 1 lakh rupees and Nisha is borrowing in 1 lakh pound. It is not like that. Money value should be same and should be denominated in the same currency. Okay. And the next thing is that it should be between two parties. It should be between two parties. Now you may ask, sir, what is the utility of this interest rate swap? Basically, interest rate swap is not for people like you and me. Basically, it is for big companies like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, who wants to enter into this interest rate swap, or between two countries. You can write it down. It is not for individual, but for big companies and for and between nations. Now, why interest rate swap is done? Because interest rate swap is a technique of hedging. I have already mentioned the term hedging. What is hedging? Hedging means to minimize loss, to manage your risk. Hedging is a risk management tool. It is used to minimize your risk. So interest rate swap is a tool to minimize your risk, because here interest swap agreement is entered to hedge against foreign risk fluctuation, because there is no movement of foreign exchange between countries. No movement of foreign exchange between two countries. Only the interest that is positive or negative are to be adjusted. One party will gain or other party will lose, depending on the situation. So this is all basically interest rate swap. So I think you have seen the problem na? I posted yesterday in Google Classroom,
Yes, sir.
because I have taken that 2011 problem and I just redrafted it so that it is understandable to you. And not only that, I have added a further point. I have modified the problem to make it more complicated. Okay. So first, without wasting any further time, we will start with that problem. You have the problem, na? Just a minute. I will show you the problem also. Just a minute. Pay attention on the screen. Just a minute. I need the problem. Where is the problem? Google Classroom. Now can you see the screen? Tell me.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
So try to analyze the problem and try to carefully understand the nitty-gritty of the problem, because today I'll wrap up this interest rate swap on both the varieties that comes in your exam. Basically you see two components, ABC, XYZ. Two components. So first thing is two party and have been offered the following rate on a 50 lakh 5-year loan. So loan amount is same. Mind it, loan amount is same and time duration is also same. So up to this, is it clear? Tell me. Hello. Jyoti, tell me, up to this, is it clear or not? The point that I have touched upon.
Clear.
Okay. So ABC and XYZ, they are offered by their respective bank these two rates. Now ABC is offered fixed rate and floating rate. And XYZ is also offered fixed rate and floating rate. Now what is this floating rate? Floating rate means this rate is determined in the interbank market. MIBOR means Mumbai Interbank Rate. LIBOR means London Interbank Rate. Means zero point 0.3 plus some MIBOR rate at that time will be added. The rate that is prevailing at that time will be added. So there is a question of risk fluctuation, that is interest rate fluctuation. Okay. So basically A requires a floating rate loan and XYZ requires a fixed rate loan. Means A's requirement, A wants to have a floating rate loan and XYZ requires a fixed rate loan. Now why this interest swap is required? Because one party who is having this floating rate may have the apprehension that this rate will increase. So he wants the fixed rate. Or one party have the apprehension that this floating rate, this say the market will be dynamic, so it will be better to adapt to this fixed rate. So then they adapt to this fixed rate. So basically this way, that's the reason that the party chooses this floating rate versus fixed rate. Now yesterday I didn't tell you about the concept of comparative advantage, didn't I? Tell me, I didn't touch upon that concept, comparative advantage. I didn't mention, isn't it? Tell me, Jyoti, tell me.
Sir, comparative advantage.
Yes, comparative advantage. Because yesterday I just mentioned the term, but I didn't explain, isn't it? So basically, see, here it is given why this comparative advantage is required. Here is given ABC requires a floating rate loan and company XYZ requires a fixed rate loan. You agree with me? It is given or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
But suppose if it is not given, then if say for well and good it is given. But if it is not given, please mute yourself. But if it is not given, then what would have been the case? Any idea? Because we cannot jump into unknown because we do not know the situation, isn't it? Basically I'll show you this comparative advantage. Just please see the screen. Is the screen visible to you? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
So you need to make a chart like this before the problem, and company is ABC XYZ. ABC is offered 9% and MIBOR plus 0.3%. XYZ is offered 10.8 and MIBOR plus 0.8. So differential interest rate is 1.8 and 0.5. Now XYZ is losing in both the market. You agree with me or not? Tell me. XYZ is losing in both the market because in both the market the interest rates for XYZ is high. Agree with me or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why it is so? Can you tell me? Can you tell me that why AX is offered a higher rate and ABC is offered a lower rate?
Sir, because fixed ABC is
I
fixed at
think, sir.
9%.
I think, sir, he has taken more time to
No,
repayment the loan, sir. I think.
borrowing amount the time limit is same 5 years. If you can see, because if
Oh, I
they
see.
are in interest rate swap, this is IRS, the time period should be same. Then
Oh,
why there is such discrepancy? Because you have also has taught you credit rating, isn't it? Credit rating concept, credit rating, credit rating. Suppose there are credit rating agencies like CRISIL and various credit rating, Moody. These are credit rating agencies. They rate companies, and ABC enjoys higher credit rating than XYZ. So ABC is able to borrow the money at a lower rate, and XYZ doesn't have that benefit. So XYZ has to pay higher rate. Got it? You can write it down. Due to difference in credit rating, this interest rate differential occurs. Okay. Now you can see difference is 0.5. 0.5. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. All of you, please mute yourself. Please. 1.8 and zero point 0.5. So basically, A is enjoying higher rate of a lower rate of interest in both the market, but XYZ has comparative advantage in MIBOR market than in fixed rate market. You can see the difference in XY in MIBOR market is only 0.5, whereas in fixed market it is 1.8. Isn't it? You agree with me or not? Tell me. Hello?
No, sir.
It is not clear.
No.
See the difference. MIBOR plus 0.3 and XYZ is MIBOR plus 0.8. So MIBOR will get cancelled. So the net difference is 0.5. This much you agree with me or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
And here 10.8 minus 9. So the difference is 1.8. So compared to this fixed rate market, XYZ is able to borrow at a lower rate of interest in floating rate market. Is it clear? Why I am saying so? Because zero point 0.5 is lesser than this 1.8. So XYZ has a comparative advantage in floating market than in fixed market. Try to understand this thing. If it is not clear, again ask me. Because I don't want you people to mug up just like the format I gave you yesterday to understand the concept. We are not in a rush, not in a hurry. We will go very slowly, try to understand the concept. I'll repeat as many times as you like me to repeat. Now, is this clear or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So XYZ has comparative advantage in floating market and ABC has comparative advantage in fixed market, because ABC fixed market is the difference is more in fixed market. So ABC has more advantage in fixed market. So basically, as per this theory of comparative advantage, that is XY is the company which has comparative advantage will borrow in that market. What I am saying, the company which has comparative advantage will borrow in that market and then swap. So XYZ will borrow in floating rate and ABC will borrow in fixed rate and then swap. So if in the problem it was not given like this, that XYZ has preference for floating rate and say ABC has preference for fixed rate, then what would have been the case? We would be in a problem, we would be in a dilemma to know which company is opting which media. So basically through this method, we can see that XYZ will borrow in floating market and then convert its liability into fixed rate, and ABC will borrow in fixed rate and then convert its borrowing into floating rate. Then swap means the same this thing. Is it clear or not? Tell me. Because see, the concept is extremely difficult, too difficult. So I am moving. I am just. I am trying to just teach you these people the basics so that you can understand, so that it can be injected in your brain.
No, sir, I have not understand.
You agree with me or not that XYZ has comparative advantage in floating market
Yes, sir.
and ABC has comparative advantage in fixed market?
Okay.
So basically, if a company has comparative advantage, please mind you can make a note also. If a company has comparative advantage in a particular market, he will borrow from his bank in that rate. In that rate. So XYZ has comparative advantage in floating market. XYZ has comparative advantage in floating market, whereas ABC has comparative advantage in fixed market. So XYZ will borrow in floating rate and ABC will borrow in fixed rate and then swap. See, basically see here,
Okay, okay, sir. I understood.
because here it is given ABC require a floating rate, XYZ require a fixed rate. But suppose this point is not given. It may happen this point is not given. Then how would you proceed? Then this is the rule. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
And you can check. You can double check also, just a minute. My calculator is not there. You can see the interest differential is 1.8 and 0.5. So deduct 1.8 minus 0.5. So it will be 1.3. Agree with me or not? Tell me. If you
Yes,
deduct,
sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so here by the formula that I am not going to repeat, that yesterday I taught you, that is revised arrangement minus existing arrangement. Revised arrangement is this and existing is arrangement is this. So if you deduct this thing, this is 1.3. Agree with me or not? So by this way you can cross check whether it is correct or not.
Yes, sir.
Now this 1.3 has to be divided between A and B. If nothing is mentioned, it should be equal. Okay. So 0.65, 0.65. So basically A wants to give to his bank zero point 0.3, zero point 0.3. So this zero point 0.3 will be reduced by 0.65. So it will be MIBOR minus 0.35. So he has a floating rate of MIBOR minus 0.35. And bank and this B, sorry, this XYZ has a fixed liability of 10.8 and it will be reduced to 0.65. So it will be 10.15. And if you see the net position, XYZ position, I have mentioned the position also. Here you have to see how much you are receiving and how much you are paying. See, in this case, I am just talking about XYZ. XYZ is paying 9% and XYZ is paying MIBOR plus 8%. Don't consider this thing. Don't consider this thing. Only consider this thing and this thing. So 9% he is paying and he is paying MIBOR plus 0.8. So this is in bracket, means it is negative, means you have to pay and you are receiving MIBOR minus 0.35. MIBOR minus 0.35. So this will come in plus. So ultimate the net gain will be 10.15 as I have already shown you, without depicting in pictorial form. Tell me, is it okay or not?
No, sir.
Which point is not clear? Tell me.
Sir, just scroll up, sir, just.
Yes.
Go up. Sir, you had mentioned revised arrangement and existing
Yes,
arrangement.
yes, that's
Sorry.
why that's why I'm doing. That's why I'm doing. You see, revised arrangement is 10.8 plus this thing. Just see, 10.8 plus MIBOR plus 0.3. This is revised minus. This is the formula, because if you want to say mark up the formula by this way, it is very fine. You can do it. But I am showing you the logic. Okay. And
Okay.
this is the old rate, 9% plus MIBOR plus 0.8. See, same thing is there.
Okay. Okay.
I am showing you the logic that why I am doing, because you are a finance student. Okay, so you need to see the logic why I am doing doing this thing. So this is revised agreement. This is existing agreement. 1.3 is coming.
Okay. Okay. 6.5. And sir, after getting 0.65,
Hmm.
what you have written, sir, my board plus.
My God, this is 1.3 has to be divided equally between A and X. A and X. So 0.65, 0.65 means 1.3 divided by 2. Why 2? Because divided equally means 1.3 into 50% A, 50% X. So 0.65, 0.65. Got it?
Yes, sir, I have got it. Then.
Then A has to pay to his bank MIBOR plus 3%, 0.3%, if it had taken this floating rate. But now, since his liability has reduced by 0.65, so he will pay 0.65 less. So it will be automatically MIBOR minus 0.35. Because MIBOR plus 0.3 minus 0.65 will give you MIBOR minus 0.35. This 0.65 is A is gaining, means he will pay less to his bank, isn't it? Due to this interest differential, A is gaining 0.65, so he will pay less to his bank. So how much less he will pay? He will pay 0.65. So in net he has to pay MIBOR minus 0.35. Got it? If it is not clear, tell me. Because see, I told you, this is interest rate swap is the difficult and most tough concept in international finance, and by far the toughest in derivative. Tell me, is it clear or not?
No, sir, it's not getting.
Which point is not clear? You please tell me, Rajesh. Please open up. Otherwise, I won't help you.
Sir, I'm not able to see the full page of that, sir.
Just a minute.
While you have.
I will just zoom in. Now is it okay? Hello.
No. Yes,
See,
sir. Yes,
MIBOR
sir.
plus
When.
C. Just try to listen to me and follow me very carefully. He has to pay to his bank MIBOR plus 0.3%. You agree with me or not? Floating rate, because he wants
Yes.
a floating rate. And
Okay.
floating rate is offered by bank MIBOR plus 0.3%. But due to this interest swap, he has made a gain of rupees of 0.65. He has made a gain of 0.65. So this gain will be deducted from this interest cost. So this 0.65 need to be deducted from this. So MIBOR plus 0.3% minus 0.65 will give you MIBOR minus 0.35%. Because previously
Main. Yeah, my main concern is how you can deduct from 3% to 0.65, sir.
it is not 3%, it is 0.3%, not 3%, 0.3%.
Oh, 0.3%. Okay.
4.3.
0.3, 0.3%. 0.3%, it is not
Oh,
3%. 0.3% you deduct 0.65.
okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You have to be very careful with your arithmetic. Because see, I was not good at arithmetic, no doubt. But still I have improvised. But you, as a teacher, I will suggest you to practice your arithmetic. So this is basically the swap agreement. See the swap agreement. First, study this for 2 minutes, and after that, we'll have a question and answer session. We'll discuss in vivid way. Because no teacher, I think, will teach you in such a vivid manner this interest rate swap. Because they will give you a note and they will just see it that this is the gain, this is the loss. But I have made an in-depth study to make it lucid and simple to the student. That's how I worked yesterday to present it in such a lucid manner. If I know the concept, that is no good. I need to inject this concept into your brain. Only then I will be successful as a tech teacher or as a college teacher. Okay, can I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So basically, see, ABC comparative advantage 9%. So he is paying 9% to his bank. XYZ comparative advantage floating rate, he is paying MIBOR plus 0.8% to his bank. Okay, up to this is okay. And the bank is offering him, if he had opted floating rate, MIBOR plus 0.35, MIBOR plus 0.3%, MIBOR plus 0.3%, and he has the other bank would have given XYZ 10.8%, the fixed rate. Okay, Now the thumb rule is that ABC is paying 9%. ABC is paying 9%. So XYZ will reimburse the entire 9% to ABC. You can see XYZ will reimburse the entire 9% to ABC. But this XYZ, this ABC has a comparative advantage. You can see has a comparative advantage in both the market. Has a comparative advantage in both the market. So ABC, what ABC will give? ABC won't give this MIBOR plus 0.8. ABC will give his lending rate if he had borrowed, see, this MIBOR plus 0.3 minus 0.65, because he wants to gain this, because this is for a concept. This won't help you in examination, for your concept to understand that why I am writing MIBOR minus zero point 0.3 here, 0.35 here, because bank, this MIBOR plus zero point 0.3 ABC will reimburse to XYZ, but he will not reimburse MIBOR plus 0.3%. He will reimburse MIBOR minus 0.35. Why? Because he will deduct that 0.65. He will deduct that 0.65 because it is gained to him, and if you analyze the comparative advantage, ABC is in a higher position in both the market. It is for XYZ good or to benefit XYZ, ABC is arranging into this floating agreement. So XYABC will say that whatever my floating rate is, from that I will deduct the interest differential, and that I will pay to you. Basically this is the concept, and this concept will help you in understanding currency swap also. Basically if you want to mark up and just go by this, just you can follow this. See ABC's position minus 0.35, it is coming. XYZ position 10.15, it is coming. But why I am XYZ has reimbursed 9%, and why ABC has not reimbursed a MIBOR plus 0.8%? That is the logic. That why ABC is reimbursing only MIBOR minus 0.35. Okay. Shall I move to the next concept? Tell me. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For examination purpose, you don't need to be very logical. Just follow the steps. Okay. Because the ultimate result is to get marks, isn't it? Rajesh, agree with me or not?
Okay, sir.
But if in an interview board, if they ask you, so this is the logic. Now, there is a concept of swap bank. Swap bank, what is a swap bank? Now, this ABC and XYZ, how they enter into this interest rate agreement. They enter into this interest rate swap because they know each other. They, Nisha and Poonam know each other, so they can enter into this interest rate swap. But suppose Nisha is staying at, say, West Bengal, and Poonam is staying, say, in in Patna, and they do not know each other. So how in that case this interest rate swap would be possible? Because they don't know each other and they don't know each other requirement. So there comes this concept of swap bank. Swap bank, you can write swap bank is a broker. Swap bank is a broker who facilitate interest rate swap between two parties at a fixed rate of commission. Now have you understood the concept of swap bank?
Yes, sir.
Now in this case, suppose swap bank, there is a swap bank and he is charging 0.01 percentage. 0.01 percentage. Okay. So total gain, total this comparative advantage, however, this that is revised minus actual, this will remain the same. It won't change. So the total gain we have calculated 1.3, isn't it? 1.3 we have calculated. From that we need to deduct this 0.01 percentage. That is the percentage of swap back. So the remaining percentage will be 1.29. This will be shared equally between A and X. So it will be 0.645, 0.645. Clear or not? Tell me.
Okay, sir. Clear.
Now see the diagram. Basically, this is the diagram. Same thing. Bank is paying MIBOR, floating rate is MIBOR plus zero point 0.3 and 10.8. So basically the thing is that here there is no question between two parties. Here there is swap bank. So what A is paying to bank, that is 9%. What A is paying to bank, that is 9%. Swap bank will pay that 9% to A. Again I am repeating. A is paying 9% and swap bank will reimburse this 9%. And in exchange A will pay a certain amount to that swap bank, and that will be MIBOR plus 0.3 minus 0.645 percentage, minus 645 percentage. So basically A's position I have calculated here also. So basically MIBOR plus zero point 0.3 minus this gain, that is 0.645. So it will give you, it will, swap bank will receive MIBOR minus 0.345. Now take the case of X. X is paying MIBOR plus 0.8%. So swap bank will pay MIBOR plus 0.8% to XYZ. And in return, X will pay to swap bank not 10.8 but 10.8 less 10.8 less 0.645. Here, since swap
Okay.
bank is arranging the deal, so the comparative advantage that A was having, that A was charging more, this won't hold here because the entire arrangement has been done by swap bank. Okay, so you can see A's position 9% he is paying, 9% he is receiving, and the ultimate payment is going out of pocket is MIBOR minus 0.345. Similarly, XYZ is paying MIBOR plus zero point 0.8, he is receiving MIBOR plus zero point 0.8, and ultimate net outflow, that is minus 10.155. Now swap bank is paying this much 9 plus MIBOR plus 0.8%, and he is receiving this thing from A and X, so his net position is 0.01 or 1%. So there by cross calculation you can see the net gain to swap bank is 1%. So this is basically, they didn't give this swap bank in any of the question, but if they give this swap bank, this is the concept. So I have just modified the problem and introduced the concept of swap bank in this problem. So have you understood the question answer or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir. I understood.
Just see the picture. Because as I told you, interest rate swap is the most important topic, and every time they give, and through, see, for 20 years I am teaching in WBT, they didn't give this currency swap. They didn't give for a single time currency swap. But still we use currency swap to say to hone up your skill, or so that as a finance student you should know the concept of this currency swap. So this is basically interest rate swap, and this interest rate swap is both in international finance and in derivative. If you had taken that derivative paper, this chapter would have been covered. Okay. So basically, I would suggest the student to take both this international finance and derivative, because in international finance all the topics of derivatives are there, but in derivatives all the topics of international finance are not there. So basically, if you had taken this derivative, the your effort would have been minimized. Okay. Anyway, what is bygone is bygone. So any doubt and question regarding this class, or on, or say on any point?
No, sir.
Okay. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.